Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the award-winning recovery podcast. Get in the herd. It's been a minute. I think it's been like over a week, and I'm not entirely sure I know who I am anymore. But for you all out there, I'm Nathan Mitchell. I'm host today. We got a freaking zoo in here today. We've been doing all kinds of goofy stuff in here today. We're having fun. We're talking about the holidays. It is December 21st. It is the shortest day of the year. Welcome to winter. Welcome to that craziness. We're going to talk about gratitude today. We're going to talk about recovery and family and the holidays and what all that means. And today with me, our special guests, we have Pat Jones. Pat's been a regular guest and a frequent viewer, frequent
Watcher? Yeah.
watcher,
Viewer.
viewer. That's a weird word. Yeah.
No, I've been around for a minute. Yeah.
You've been around for a minute. And we have Eli B over here. B, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes. Oh, no, that's good. Did you hear that? He called me sir. Welcome, Eli, to the show. Good to see you, buddy. And of course, as always, our fabulous producer slash sound mixer slash jangler over there, Justice Bognar. So,
Hi,
thank you.
Justice.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. You're probably wondering why we brought you to the show today, Eli. The reality is, it's your first holiday in recovery.
Correct.
Yeah. So tell us, man, how did you find us? What do you think so far? What did you get here a week ago?
Yes, exactly a week ago.
Oh, exactly. Today.
Yeah, it's been a week today.
Wow. Yeah, you remember that first week?
Yeah.
Tell me about your first week.
Well,
Well,
there was a whole lot of sickness. There was a whole lot of anxiety. There was just I didn't know what I was doing,
ooh.
and I'd never been in recovery before. I didn't know what recovery was. I knew that these, cultish people went to recovery meetings and said magic incantations
Cultish
before they
people.
then shared things. It was all very daunting, very scary. And what I have noticed just in the short time that I've met you is that you just came on this podcast without even knowing what it was doing. Your willingness is already like on a great level. So it's awesome to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, it sort of begs the question: what is the 2:00 group that you're missing right now that you
Right.
just wanted to get out of?
Yes.
But I also love, I gauge the groups around here too, and I have it in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that one's gonna suck. This is my ego coming out, right? And I have coachees. I know that Justice over there is your coachee. Yeah, he's gonna get mad if I keep doing that.
I'm not his coachee.
I mean, oh, coach. Yeah, right. Well, it turns out the coach becomes the coachee.
But who's coaching who?
Oh, yes, the therapeutic value and all that. Hey, man, we haven't been on. We didn't do a show last week, did we?
At all.
At all.
Wow.
Did y'all miss us? Tell us in the comments that you missed us, because I need validation. Love me. In all seriousness, though, yeah, we didn't do a show last week, which was really bizarre. We didn't even do a Tuesday show. What happened? I forget.
That was
What happened? Chris, no.
Abby, my girlfriend's daughter, was homesick.
Oh, that's right.
And I had to stay home with her.
Something came up for
and
me
I was going to
too.
do it from the house.
Yeah. Well, and I could have run it from here, but something came up for me and as well, and it just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then we had to cancel the interview on Thursday. So, yeah, we just kind of had a week with no shows. So I'm really grateful to be doing this because these are my favorite. Well, look, I love the show and I love what we do. One of my favorite things that we do is I bring on friends and I bring on new people and just kick it Bobo. Is that how the kids say it?
I have no idea what
You're
you're
a
talking
kid.
about. Yeah, please tell us.
Tell us.
I'm not sure that Bobo is frequent lingo that I've heard, but works fine with me.
Is yeet appropriate to use here?
Oh, yeah. We're going to yeet right into this thing, dude.
What is a yeet?
Yeah, but you're over 40, bro.
I'm 40. Yeah, I know.
So
I'm
am I.
I'm trying to.
This is why I hang out with
What
you
is
guys.
what is the yeet?
Yeah, what does yeet mean? I see it.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was originally some sort of dance. However, I'm not really aware of the correct terminology on that either.
Oh.
If anybody
My
out there
understanding-
wants to tell us exactly, of course I could Google it, but if anybody wants to tell us exactly what yeet means, as long as it's appropriate for a podcast.
Yeah, but it's our podcast.
I think I could shed some light.
Wait,
I think I know what EAT is. This is my understanding.
Wait. But before you say that, I appreciate what you said. You could Google it and all. I don't want you to tell us what it is. I want y'all to show us what it is. If it's a dance, yeet for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except, is it a dance? I don't know. I didn't think it was a dance. I thought it was an action.
Well,
To
okay.
yeet something.
Yes.
As in, I am yeeting something, like just throwing something or getting rid of something, or just it's an action.
Sounds like a pinkies out kind of a thing. Yes, I was eating last night.
Kind of like YOLO, kind of like that thing, you know.
So you no. All right. What would yeet be an acronym for? You engage everyone totally.
I guess.
Actually, that would be a backronym. Backronym would be
yeah.
If you take a word and make an acronym out of that, I mean, never mind.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Too much.
welcome. You've been here a week. Let's pivot back to something actually interesting.
Right.
Eli,
Mhm.
what's going on? So we talked about your first week here. Tell us about
Yeah.
this first week that you've had while you've been here.
I was lucky to not have to detox here. However, I did come from jail. The first week has been very good, I would say, comparatively speaking to other treatment centers I've been in. It's a very welcoming atmosphere. The classes are not too intensive, but intensive enough to, I feel like, actually make a difference in my life, as opposed to other places I've been where they kind of just leave you to be. As long as you're in the class, you pretty much are good to go. Here, people are going to make sure that you're accountable for what you're supposed to do. I haven't had a single person be even the slightest bit rude to me or anything. Everyone's really nice, so I would say a very warming environment, except for Dan. But
We can totally change that if
I
you
was gonna
want.
say you've been here a week and no one's been rude to you.
no, not yet.
I feel like we're failing you.
I must be doing something wrong then.
We're supposed to be teaching you how to live life on life's terms. Like, we're not. We're not. We can fix this.
All right, shut up, Eli. Patrick, tell me how much you hate Eli's hair.
Oh, man, no. I long hair love over here. Long hair love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not exactly short-haired over here.
Yeah, but it's
No. No, look, I've got the sweetest haircut in this room. Even though you can't see me,
There's a reason we can't
definitely
see you.
got the sweetest haircut in this room.
There's a reason we can't see you. There's a reason we bought a computer that didn't have a camera on it.
In fact, I think we're gonna install a wall right here.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Actually, we did talk about that.
Yeah,
Anybody
right.
want to grant fund a wall right here? That'd be great. Not to keep you out, but seriously.
Hashtag send that cash.
Oh wait, who was that? That was
Darian.
Darian. Oh, I forgot about that. That was good. Hashtags in that.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back. Well, I wonder how Darian's doing. You need to live with Darian. I appreciate what you're saying, and we're sitting here joking and everything, and that's great. And glad you didn't have to detox. So you say you've been to other places, huh?
Yes, I have.
What led you to find us?
I was actually in jail for I cannot remember what time. I was seeking some sort of intensive treatment program to bond out to hopefully, make a permanent change in my life. And I actually found out about the program through my attorney while I was seeking a bond. My mother emailed me in jail all of the rules, kind of the reviews about the program and everything. And, I kind of determined that this would be a good fit for me based on what I had read. And so far, that's holding true.
Good. What so you saw the rules in advance, so you knew you'd be coming and get you'd have the phone taken away,
Yeah.
and you'd be living. Was there anything? Obviously, we can only put as much as we can, on paper before you get here. What were the surprises when you got here? What did you expect versus reality?
Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. Kind of just based my expectations on previous places I'd been, and this is absolutely nothing like either of them, which is a good thing. But I wasn't expecting it to be as homey of an environment. You live in the house with guys, pretty much forced into friendship with these people, which isn't a bad thing either. You live in a real house, real bedroom, so I don't feel like it's too much of a clinical, mental ward hospital feel. It's a comfortable environment to be in, which is, I feel like, pretty important, whenever you're coming off of drugs or detoxing or getting into recovery in the first place. You need a safe, comfortable environment to go into, which I feel like is achieved pretty well here.
Hmm. So that I think that might be a new McShin logo right there. Um, no cardboard beds. Because he's saying it's a
Yeah.
real bed, a real. Never
Yep.
mind. Nah, that
No,
joke.
they
Did,
did that in the Olympics.
that
didn't
joke
they?
did not land.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. Anyway, it's been a week. It's been a while since we've done the show.
It's been a while.
It's been a
Sorry.
while. Feels like the first time.
Y'all went straight hairband on that.
Well, I mean, look at us.
That's true.
We're both over 30. We both have.
We're both over 40, dude.
Man, don't be telling my age and stuff. No.
I love it here.
Hashtag send that cash.
Yeah.
I like that actually, and so that's funny because I think about my first week here, and I don't really remember my first week. You know, right before the show, and it's funny. I was going to grab one of the things I thought about was grabbing those two guys from my office and bringing them in here and having the five of us, but then we're all sharing mics and it just gets hard. It's a pain in the neck. But I had two guys who literally just got here an hour ago,
Right.
and they came straight from and some of y'all might be watching right now and know who they are because you might be watching at RSW. They came here from RSW and they're sitting in my office and drinking real coffee for the first time in a very, very long time and sitting here talking about that. And Pat was talking about that first night sleeping, and I'm thinking I don't really remember my first night sleeping.
Dude, vividly remember.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it was such a major like transformation in my life because I mean 2 years is a long time, and I mean I did just shy of 2 years, and when you're away that long, at least from this is my experience, but when you're away that long, it's like you start to forget like the little details about what real life is outside of jail. Like what coffee creamer tastes like being able to go to the grocery store and pick out spices and things like little things like the small details that actually make life spicy. That it's the spice of life is the little small details in it. So yeah, I remember that when I got out and sleeping on I had a double mat for a long time, which if you're listening and you're in jail, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Because them double mats are where it's at. And sleeping on a real mattress for the first time in 2 years it'll stick out for the rest of my life, I feel like. It was almost too soft in a good way.
Yeah. That's interesting. I appreciate that. Did you find and have you found do you all sit together and cook at the end of the night? Do you make dinner together, share a meal?
Yep, pretty much every night I've been here, I have gotten together with a few other guys. We've either grilled out sausages, hamburgers, whatever it is that we've collaborated on at the store. And then we'll all sit down either outside at the table or inside and kind of fellowship and just talk to each other. Whether it be something serious or just goofing off. It's a good opportunity to get to know people that are like you.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, I'm so grateful that like I just got to spend that time with the two of the brand newcomers, and I won't say their names, protect anonymity and all that, but that was really special. I don't get to meet people. I do get to meet people when they first get here, but like to sit down and have an in-depth conversation right off the jump is actually somewhat rare for me. It's usually a day or two before I get to meet a person and actually have that conversation. And I cherish those moments. But this was really special because like they have they have no idea what to expect in the next couple days and weeks, and in my head I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool, but also, oh, I hope you love it as much as I do, and blah blah blah. I want to tell all the things, and I want to, but I also got to listen, and I got to ask, and I'll ask you the same thing. What are your goals, and what do you want to do? What do you want to do with yourself, and while you're here, and I know, look, for me, I work a program of one day at a time. It's very important to me to do that, and I set goals. There isn't a dichotomy there, that it just kind of works out the way it works out. What about you, man? Like when you got here, what are the goals? What are the goals that are floating around in your head? I mean, you've been here a week now.
Yeah. I would say obviously the main one is to learn how to stay sober and live an actual productive and happy lifestyle. To set reasonable goals for myself as opposed to looking years and years down the road. Because that's not always a realistic thing to do, especially in recovery. Anything can happen. I would say learn how to be relational better, probably as well. Express my emotions better. There's all sorts of shortcomings I feel I have as far as that, and as well as like with the footwork of recovery, actually walking it out. Being in the program's one thing. You kind of got a babysitter, if you will, through that. But
Mhm.
I always fail in the long term where, I'm on my own and I need to be going to meetings. I need to be surrounded by a community of people in recovery. And that's where I always fall short mainly is, that. So I'm kind of trying to get a good group of people around me to support me and them both. So hopefully that me and these other people can all succeed in what we're trying to get out of this.
Yeah. What do you
That accountability piece is so important, and I'm glad to hear that because that's where I failed in the past as well. Is like, and what I'm finding now is that I need people on both sides of the spectrum of that. I need people to keep me accountable, but I also need people in my life that I need to keep accountable, and that keeps me right there in that middle spot where I'm humble yet teachable. So I mean, I'm glad to hear that. That's an amazing goal. Because I can relate to that. It's always nice to be here and to be in a bubble and to go to. I've been to multiple rehabs as well.
Mhm.
Um, so I've gotten kind of a broad spectrum of what to expect from a place of recovery. But that's a creepy look.
he's
Dude.
he I'm that was a really I'm so sorry I interrupted your flow because you're
No.
really talking good
No,
stuff
it's
here.
all good. It's that face over there. Anyway,
I'm so sorry. That was a good flow you had going
you're
on.
good. You're good. It, like I said, it's been I've had a lot of different experiences, and one thing that I really like about the McShin Foundation, and this is not me like plugging it. This is like real. I want to be very, very um, honest and
Prepare
authentic.
prepare to turn off the mic.
Yeah, right. No, we put you. McShin puts you in very real life situations. Whereas where I've been to clinical settings where you have a doctor, you have a clinician, you have a therapist, you have these groups where people that are going to these groups are, rehab hopping is a term,
Mhm.
right? And there's a lot of people in these clinical rehabs that are rehab hopping. They're going to a sober living, they're relapsing, they're going to another rehab. So you're not really getting genuine real life recovery. You're getting recovery bubble recovery. Um, whereas this place puts you in real life situations. Whereas like I have to go get a job when I'm done with the intensive program, and if you so choose to stick around in the sober living aspect of this program, you're required to go get a job, like, and become a productive member of society. And like I'm a member of a 12 step that and I'm going to paraphrase because I've never really been a big like quote the book kind of person, but just that much faster to become acceptable, responsible, reliable members of society, right?
Acceptable, responsible,
Yeah,
productive. Yeah.
yeah. So like, the faster I get out there and put myself into these real world situations with the bubble behind me and the support of a network, um, just that much faster do I actually get to be what at least my idea of a recovering addict is in the real world, which is productive, and we give back, and we reach back. We get to get out of active addiction and then reach back in there to help the next person out. So and the willingness is a big part of that, dude.
Right.
To be honest with you, like I've been coming here for a long time, and I've seen a lot of different participants come through, and um, you can kind of gauge where a person will be at um, a few weeks from now, just by the willingness piece, I believe.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of people come in and just be like, well, yes, I want recovery, but also I want my phone, and I'm only going to go to this meeting, and I don't really like that group, so I'm going to mess around by the smoke shack and not really go there. And those are the people that don't really make it, unfortunately.
Although
So-
I had two phones.
yeah, right. Well,
And back, I don't know. I haven't been to the morning meditation meeting, but when we were participants, when I was initially a participant, I didn't live in the intensive house. I lived in Chamberlain with Justin, and when we were required to come up here, if we weren't working, we were required to be here. Technically, we still are, but that we have a lot less Yeah, technically. But what would happen is even if when you came up here in the morning, you still had to turn your phone in. You weren't supposed to have your phone the whole day. So I would turn one broken one in. I would keep the other. The funny thing is I didn't have service on either phone, but I did have the Wi-Fi. So
The
yeah,
Wi-Fi password.
I had that recovery phone, that early recovery phone.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought I was slick, and we would duck out. We would sit in the chapel, and this guy, what was his name? Uh, I don't remember his last name. It was David something, and he was a little guy. I mean, like short, like me, not like a little guy. But he, well, that's debatable. Anyway, he was a flute player. He's a flautist. That's the or
Is
flute.
that the word?
That is the word, flautist.
Flautist.
A flautist. Google it. Or don't. I don't know.
It's worth a Google.
It is worth it, but I guarantee it's flautist. You can say flutist, but that's more of a recent addition to the language, whereas flautist is the old way of saying it.
I like flautist better.
Yes, I do too.
It's more old worldy.
But it is. But he was a flautist, and he would play recorder and all that, little fifes and stuff. Any kind of like those little
Wind instruments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he had a bunch with him, and he was good. I mean, like he would like flutter, and he was good at it. And he would he would
Flautist adjectives. I love it.
right. Well, it was May, so the weather was beautiful. So we didn't want to be inside, and he would just walk around the church here where the McShin is, and he would just walk around outside and just play, and it was nice. And we would chill in the chapel, he and this girl, and I thought. I was a participant at the time, so I can say this, but I thought I was trying to, do a little something, something. But it turns out he wanted this girl instead, so that was not fun for me. But that's okay. I've learned to deal with rejection.
The chapel's a tough place, man.
It's tough, man. Everything goes down to the chapel.
Everything goes down
Flautist for
in
life.
the chapel.
You get that? Is that an F? Anyway.
So you were trying to go upstairs flouting?
Let's just say I was flouting the rules. All right. Oh boy. And,
Oops.
but you're right though. It's like we start to, and like the thing about here is that like I'm a staff now, obviously, but as a participant, like the thing that we would know is that we're gonna mess up. They knew we were gonna mess up. They expected it. In fact, they kind of want people to mess up a little bit so you can have those conversations with people to show what this place is really about. It's not about saying you're a bad person. It's about, hey, there's this other way of doing things, and maybe you want to do that. We have some weird, well, no, we have some nitpicky rules here that I like, like the no hats in the building thing, right? I mean, it's a church, it's a building, there's a respect thing that John, is really strong about, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's also, you go into the real world, as it were. I mean, yes, this is definitely real world. You're right about that. But you go to get a job or something, try to go to an office job or many jobs, and you try to wear a hat, they're gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
So just one thing, but also little things like not having your phone during groups, not wearing headphones during groups. And some of this stuff is, I laugh, but like I would get up, and I was pretty good about trying to be respectful for the groups. I would just not show up, but it's disrespectful to get up and get down, in the middle of a group, to interrupt the group, to essentially say I'm more important than you, whoever it might be sharing at the moment. And also, by the way, the person who is coming in to facilitate, most of the people that come and do that are volunteers or working for peanuts to do that, to come in here and share their experience, strength, and hope. And so it's like these rules I start to appreciate a lot more as I'm, getting deeper into my recovery. And, of course, as I get to know the people who facilitate the groups. That being said, I know when there are boring groups, and I'll go grab my coachees out of them, and I'll be like, all right, hey, you want to go to my house and pick up the pasta? Oh, by the way, there's pasta downstairs. Did you get some of that?
Did not get any pasta.
Oh, yeah. Downstairs. Oh, my God. It's so decadent.
I'm on
is
it.
So decadent. It is. First of all, it's.
Wait, did you cook it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
it. Okay.
First of all, it's chickpea linguine. Right. That's
Okay.
that's the look. That's the face.
Okay.
Because what? It's made with chickpeas. Like, who knew? I had no idea, but I saw it in the grocery store yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm gonna try that.
I'm down with
It's
it.
supposed to be more protein. I'm like healthier pasta, right?
Yeah.
but I'm going to cook it with, bacon wrapped scallops
Yes.
and a whole stick of butter.
You have to balance the
Olive
healthy
oil.
out, okay? We can't be too healthy.
There's some tomatoes in there, there's some. I cooked spinach in there.
There's green stuff.
There's green stuff.
It's very healthy then.
Yeah. I tried to find basil. There was no freaking basil in the damn store.
Why? Is there
Global shortage.
There's a basil shortage.
I don't know about basil specifically, but there was no freaking basil in the damn store. I could buy a whole basil plant, but there wasn't enough basil to make it on the plant. Like it was $1.99 for the plant, but it was so sickly looking,
Need a
and it
basil
wasn't enough basil for what I needed.
Huh.
Yeah.
You just kill the plant to do it. Yeah.
Well,
that's
right.
not
I mean, I
good.
would have done that because it was
Basil
only
murder.
$1.99, but it wasn't enough for what I needed. So,
Right.
you know what? I
Where are
actually,
you finding basil plants? What store is this? Sorry to
No,
digress,
no.
but
believe me, we've already digressed.
right.
The squirrels are running amok at the Kroger by my house in Willow Lawn.
At the Kroger?
I need more
At the
herbs.
Kroger.
At the Kroger.
I should have shopped at the Publix. Going down to the Publix for the
At
basil.
the Krogers.
The Krogers. Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
What just happened?
I don't know. People doing stuff. Basil is gross. Ashley,
Yeah.
no. Basil is delicious. Basil is delicious with mozzarella and some fresh tomato and
No, it's mozzarella.
it's mozzarella.
It's not matza, whatever the fuck.
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
No.
Yeah. No.
Mozzarella.
Okay. Digression. I love
What's
it.
your favorite food?
I don't have one.
What? Wait, hold on. What?
I don't have a favorite food. I pretty much will eat anything. I'll try anything, even if it is not a good sounding item.
So you smoked a lot of weed, is what you're saying?
Yes. Also that.
Nice.
Um, I'm trying to do some soul searching here as
Do
to
the
what I would
meals-
name as my favorite food, but
Maybe a food group.
Yeah.
um,
Salty, sweet.
definitely salty. I like scallops,
Bacon
steak.
wrapped scallops.
Um,
Oh my god, steak.
But then again, I'll eat anything that tastes
Steak.
good, no matter what it is.
Our friend over here works at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hard limited basis now.
You're still working there?
Dude, like 2 days a week. That's it. So,
He's only
so-
down to making $1,000 a week now
It's,
with the 2 days
it's
he
like
works.
800, okay?
Are you serious?
I'm not lying. I mean,
God.
The choices that have led me to this point in my life.
Work at a steakhouse, dude. I mean,
Oof.
actually, I've literally had nightmares about this place. Like, I'm starting to get PTSD from working in this restaurant. So, at the cost of
I used to have
You
kitchen
know.
nightmares.
my soul, right? Me too, man. When I worked at McDonald's, the buzzers is what would get me. I'd just
Oh,
wake
God.
up and
Okay,
I'd
let's
think I'd
back
hear
up. Let's
buzzers.
back up. You worked at McDonald's.
That was one of my first jobs. Actually, it was my second job. I worked on a farm.
Did
for my
not
first
know
time.
that.
You worked on a farm. I understand that Old McDonald had a farm.
He did. Woo!
This is the
All
show.
right.
By the way, Thursday we're interviewing Mark Cuban's brother. So go
Mhm.
figure. This is the show today. But
I love
So
it.
you worked at McDonald's, dude. I would get up.
So-
I would get up in the middle of the night, and I would be. Yes, Ashley. I would wake up in the middle of the night. 42 needs ranch. 42 needs ranch.
yes!
Oh,
Seriously. Yeah.
dude.
And then you go in the back and you're out of ramekins.
Yeah. I,
Always.
yeah.
All the ramekins are dirty.
All of them. I need a spoon for this chili. All the
So you
spoons are
look
dirty.
around and
Oh,
grab one
God.
from the dish pit,
Everything's always dirty.
rinse it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's not give away too many restaurants. I still need to be able to work there on 2 days a week. Okay.
Oh no. This applies to other restaurants, not yours. And we
Yeah.
don't-
No, we are the cleanest.
And
of
we didn't
clean.
even say the name of the restaurant.
go.
And
yes.
we're not going to do that because they're not paying us any money to do that.
Anonymity. That's right. Anyway.
But we're looking for sponsorship.
we
Pat.
are looking for sponsorship, y'all.
Have you worked in a restaurant before?
I have a few times. I do not enjoy it in the slightest at all.
Dude, it's a tough business.
It is.
Here's the question.
Ooh.
Okay, so I've worked in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've worked in 6 total restaurants.
Okay.
Wow.
Patrick,
Yeah.
how many have you worked in?
Does fast food include? Is that,
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because I worked at. Let's see. I'm not gonna name them off. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different restaurants.
Nathan?
1, 2,
Oh, 8. Sorry.
3, 4, 3.5 ish.
I feel that.
Um, 4. Oh yeah, 4. Wait, yeah, we'll just say 5. 5. Yeah, 5 for definitely. 5, 6. Oh yeah, 6. 6 was good.
You could just see the
7.
memories flashing on your
Yeah.
face right
Yeah.
now.
Well, it's so I've my first, funny enough, well, this is totally digression and nobody here cares. But my first job, I was a busboy in a Greek, because they're all Greek diners in New Jersey, in a Greek diner in New Jersey. It was the filthiest place on the planet, and it's like one of those places that we always love to go. And it was one of those places that it was open 24 hours. And as teenagers, like, oh, we're going to Olga's, we're going to Olga's, we're gonna go there, we're gonna sit there and have coffee and talk about real deep thoughts and stuff. And then you go to work there, and it's like, oh, this place is disgusting. It's like yeah. So it's like, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah,
Like, don't work where you like. Yeah.
working in a restaurant will ruin
Oh, God.
restaurant dining for the rest of your life.
But yeah,
You just have to like go into it with the expectation that this place is different, right? Just like my insanity in my addiction helps me with that, because I really always expect things are going to work out differently.
oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, except okay, so the last place I worked, we had a catering company, but we had a restaurant every Friday night, and the only thing we served was a raw vegan menu, and it wasn't like bamboo and sandals and hippie farts. It was like really, really high end food. It was the most amazing food I've ever eaten in my life.
So dirt
frankly.
and tree bark.
Yeah, basically, right. Oh my god, it was. I'm not vegan, and I'm certainly not raw vegan, but the creativity and the work that went into it, and
Right.
it wasn't just about the food experience. It was also about creating something nutritious and balanced.
So
And
half your plate
all
was
this-
sauce.
9 years at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was you believe it or not. It was. I mean, but
Spirals.
every meal was a 7-course meal.
What?
Yeah, no, seriously. And we only served a prefix menu. So, but it was, it was a running restaurant. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. And I was deep at the end of my addiction at that point. So,
Right.
and I wasn't eating much because of what I used to use. But the things that I did eat, it was amazing. A lot of, because of the time of year it is right now, the memories that the pictures I took at the end of my using, um, were pictures of events that we were doing during that period. So they're all popping up in my memory right now, through Google. And it's interesting because that place was, that place was spotless back. It was really clean. It was one of those places where people really took pride in what they did, and from a top down experience, and still tinged with a little regret at how I ended that, by stealing money and screwing everybody over and all the things I did.
Hell yeah.
That's I mean, hey, I did things that I was not proud of in restaurants as well.
Yeah, there's a whole lot there that we're
wanna
just
leave that-
not. Yeah, we're gonna leave.
Eli,
I don't know if
that.
there's still
What
a
about
case
you?
open or anything.
How many
so-
restaurants have you worked?
Oh
at?
yeah, thank you. Let's go back to you.
3 restaurants was enough for me.
Right on.
Which, well, we won't.
Let's not do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Probably best
Oof.
that we don't.
Probably, yeah.
I want to know, and we'll talk after the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the only reason I mentioned Olga's is because they're not there anymore.
Now the question
good.
is, well, I worked at Lone Star, and Lone Star's not there anymore.
Oh, I worked at.
Oh.
Oh no, I worked
I
at.
didn't know
Yeah, they're gone.
No, I worked at Longhorn. Yeah.
Well, actually, okay. So, what restaurants did you work at that no longer exist?
Let's see.
Ooh.
Fox Hunter Grill.
Mhm.
That was in New Kent. It was like a family-owned Italian restaurant. I think most of all the other ones are still operating. I think.
Also, I have to amend my answer from 6 to 8.
Yeah, I forgot one too. That's why I was
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one my family owned. Duh.
I worked at Lone Star, that is no longer there, and I worked at Silverados, which is no longer there.
Silverado. So wait, what's Fox Hunt? You said
Fox Hunter Grill. Yeah.
Fox Hunter Grill.
Yeah. It's actually I don't mind plugging. I actually had a good experience. That was before active addiction. So
Yeah.
although Bertuglio, a very Italian name, first generation guy. He's
I'm sorry. Are you having a stroke?
Bertuglio. You have to say it in the accent, or else it doesn't come out right.
Bertuglio.
But it's still like you're having a stroke, and plus you're like the gingerest of gingers.
No, I know.
So,
yeah.
it's just-
Seriously, it doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. But yeah,
Really?
first generation, first ginger Gingeration.
We're going to be doing a urine screen on Pat when we're done here.
Yeah. Actually, I do. Well, anyway. Do got to do that. Anyway. Yeah, no, it's first generation Italian restaurant. And I'm talking, it was the best Italian food that I've ever had in my entire life. And I mean, it was cooked by a guy that was drinking Italian wine in the back, taking shots. He'd come out of the kitchen and take shots of vodka with you, like at your table. We had, piano was being played live every single night. Great restaurant. Yeah, super fancy. Everything was fresh.
Shit, I forgot another place.
Oh wait, 9. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
just bringing the
I'm
memories
gonna
back.
be doing
y'all.
this all day now because there were a couple places I
And
worked
then
at for
it's
a
gonna be
week.
like third. I worked at 32 restaurants. I've worked at every restaurant up and down the East Coast.
Yeah, I feel like it. Then I went corporate, and then the corporate things started happening. Yeah,
I only worked at Longhorn. I think that was the only corporate I worked at.
I can't disclose the names of the places that I've worked at.
Oh, I don't care. It's been a long
Let's put it
time.
that way.
And I made them a lot of money too. So, but yeah, no, I the earlier places are gone, but 1, 2, yeah, I don't know, a lot of them are done. But it's funny. Okay, so this is great because I like this conversation. But like, so talking about food again, right, and talking about like the holidays because that's what's coming up, right? And so much, at least for my family, for me, the holidays are centered around the food stuff, right? Oh,
I saw it.
oh, that's who that is.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
my son's mother.
Oh.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hi, Ashley.
Yes, he's a ginger, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have seen a picture of I won't name your son, but he is the most adorable child on the planet, and that hair is freakishly red.
It is fire red.
Freakishly red.
Yeah.
You should see his
His
son.
pasty skin does not help him at all.
Yeah. He's wow. He's gonna be a heartbreaker,
Oh yeah.
and he's not gonna have a soul to care.
Oh yeah, no, I know it.
I made a soulless ginger joke.
But
So going back to the holidays, and I'm glad we're laughing because that to me is what the holidays. That's my favorite part about the holidays. It's all the laughing, and a lot of us, coming into recovery are challenged to get to that laughing. I remember my first Christmas. I was just talking about it with the guys. I was at 10 months sober at my first Christmas, and I hadn't done really any work, to fix relationships with my family. If anything, I had dug a little deeper because I was still in the "it's your fault" phase. I still get to that sometimes too. I still work on that.
F you, Dad.
Right. I learned it by watching you.
Daddy wasn't there.
It's actually funny on so many levels.
Yeah.
But, just because. Anyway, yeah.
My father actually called me.
That's why I was laughing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then he tried to bullshit about it and say that it was an accident, but you can't accidentally call somebody through Messenger. He said he was on my Facebook page and he accidentally called me through my face. I'm like, no, you didn't.
No, your finger touched that.
Yeah, your finger touched that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Relationships are hard to begin with, then we get into the parents.
We do, and for so long the feelings get numbed by the alcohol and the drugs and the anger. I mean, because that's the for me the overriding feeling is the anger,
Yeah.
which is really just fear, pushed outwards from me. And at 10 months going into the holidays and not having built those relationships and started that work, I really struggled. I'm really grateful. The one thing I did have was a strong sponsor who I trusted to be open and honest with. I had a network of people who would grab me. We'd go to meetings and stuff, and I came back to McShin like on the like today, probably like the 21st of December, after that 4 months of going out and going hog wild and being silly. And I came back, and it was right before Christmas. I'm back at McShin, and I felt shamed, and I hadn't used yet. I was really quick to make sure everybody knew that I hadn't used. But the things I was doing, wow. And without going too deep into that on this show, we'll get to the grittier stuff for another time. We
Got to do a X-rated
ooh, it's
version.
triple X, XXX. But getting into that, I'm also replaying all the things that I had done the year before, and so replaying all that stuff from the year before, and recognizing that every single time I thought about using, a very specific trauma moment would pop into my brain, and it kept me sober for a while, but it got me to the point where I was screaming, at my sponsor, well, with my sponsor in his car, and like, I don't know, this is right. I'm up and I'm down and I'm up and I'm down. I know how to level this shit out, and I don't want to, I'm sick of this up and down crap. And shit, let's just own the shit. And he kind of looked at me, and he was quiet, in his way, and he just kind of chuckled. He's like, yeah, well, it's gonna get better. It's also gonna get worse. I was
God,
like,
why do sponsors say that? God, it's so true though.
pull no punches. I should. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
I
And-
sense that all the time. It's gonna get better, then it's gonna get worse.
And
dude.
you know what he did? And this is something I wanna do more of. He didn't give me any suggestions or advice.
Mm.
Well, and I mean that in the best way, because I looked inward and I talked about it afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, so I guess I need to start working on forgiveness, and letting things go. Um, and then then we started doing more work on that, and that was important, because that holiday was really, really just kind of dark for me. And I I remember that day coming back, or the next day coming back. I remember just grabbing construction paper and sitting downstairs in the little boardroom next to well, it was Bob's office then, Mo's office, and just making Christmas cards. Random thoughts. Making Christmas trees, with construction paper, just because I didn't want to talk to anybody, but I needed to be in the building, and I certainly didn't. I didn't know how to deal with my feelings. Yeah. So maybe you relate to any of this.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you like to say more on that?
Yeah, definitely the.
He said yes.
Yes.
I'll
um,
bloviate for hours over here. Bloviate.
I will say dealing with the emotions for me, I kind of like you have this fear inside of me, which always tends to come out as anger, and all this craziness. But I don't know. Around the holidays, I never really had too many bad things happen to me, other than what I did wrong to being high or drunk with my family. I don't know. I definitely tend to isolate, though. I don't want to talk about things. You know, I guess that's all I got. I kind of lost my train of thought, and honestly, if you want to refresh me, feel free. We
Well,
can get
Man,
back
that's
at
one
it.
of the things that bums me out, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, I love being clean and sober. I absolutely love it. But there's a couple things here and there that I'm just like, damn, like I'm not gonna get to do. Like, for instance, on the holidays, all the guys in the family like to sit around a bottle of Black Velvet
Oh,
and drink it until it's gone.
that hurts me.
Yeah,
I can feel that.
and I just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to challenge you on that. You absolutely can.
Yeah, you're right. He's right.
You absolutely can.
Nathan.
Well, no, but I mean that, and I mean that seriously. Like, you can. We make a choice. Forgive me. This is how I'm sorry. I make a choice. I make a choice. I know that I can. I just know that I'm better off not.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm,
I'm the first
sorry,
person to say, like, dude, and this is controversial maybe, but I fucking love heroin. Like, I love it.
oof.
I absolutely do. Like, I like the way it makes me feel. I like going to do the things to go get it. Sometimes, a little bit of the time, I don't like what it does to me, just like the alcohol part of it. Like, I love bourbon. I love bourbon. It tastes good. I like the smell. I like the ritual of it, the pouring. I like it on the ride. Anyway, what happens to me when I put that substance in
Welcome
my
to our
body
award-winning recovery podcast.
is not good, right? No, but I mean that's how I view my recovery. Is like if I lie, I don't want to lie to myself anymore. I speak in truths.
Yeah.
I try not to lie to anyone, especially myself. Today, I can't be truthful without saying that I love those substances. The thing about it is that I don't like what happens to me. And that's what life is all about. It's all about consequences, and consequences can be good, they can be bad. But bad stuff happens. Like I get a little tiny glimpse of, oh, I'm going to feel good. And then, oh, yeah, I want crack.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me. Like I go out and I drink, and I've tried it multiple times, like where I love wine, right? I love to be a little snobby and drink, and eat the cheese and the charcuterie boards and like be fancy. And then crack.
It does, charcuterie to crack like that.
Like that.
But
dude.
yeah. Well, and Justin, I'm sorry, man. I cut you off there, and I feel like I just I spoke over you there for a second.
No, it's
forgive me on that.
no, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's yeah, I mean we do have a choice. But for me personally, no, I don't have a choice.
Okay.
And I say that because I'm a permission person, which means that if I give myself permission to take a hit or put half of a pill in my mouth or get the alcohol near my if I give myself permission to do any of that, I've just given myself permission to do it again and again and again and again. So for me personally, in my head, I just can't.
Okay.
I just can't.
Makes sense.
And that's how it has to be. It has to be a hard stop.
Mhm.
It has to be something that I tell myself, no, you just can't. Because of course I want to. I want to, I like Patrick said, it for me it's meth, but like I freaking love the stuff. And I love the way it makes me feel. I love going to get it. I love, the ritual thing. I love all of it. But what it does to my life and to my body and to everything, like that's not what I'm trying to be anymore. And yeah, of course, like you said, we do have that choice. But like I said, for me personally, man, it's got to be a hard, like a brick wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I
because
just
it's a
can't.
choice doesn't mean it's a
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah. Just because it's a choice doesn't mean it's an option.
Yeah.
Well, so what is the because I feel what you're both saying on the I love that and I love that, and what becomes the I guess replacement, what becomes the overriding love, to love a substance that is self-destructive, to love something that, you know boy, I mean, I think of all the toxic relationships I've been in my life, but or where I've been the toxic, whatever, but to love something that destroys us. I get it. What do we do to to find something that we love more than that thing that destroys us?
I-
You know?
I'll start, and it's a very specific thing that I do. Whenever I'm in a situation where I'm presented with, substances and things of that nature, I will literally get up and go find a mirror and look in it because I'm finally at a point in my life where I don't hate what I see in the mirror.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
when I look in the mirror, I love the way I look right now. I'm so proud of myself right now. Like I'm so proud of the way I physically look, the way I mentally feel. I'm absolutely proud of myself. And I've literally never, ever been like that before. And like I said, I'm a permission guy. If I give myself permission, I know that eventually I will not be proud of the person that I see looking back at me. So I go stare into a mirror at myself, which sounds narcissistic as all hell. But it brings my head back to, okay, this is where you are in life. You're not back there anymore. You're up here, and it's only going to get better from here. So, but also I mentally have to think about how I felt and what I was doing I just have to think about what life was like in active addiction, you know, and that always that always makes me realize that, like, whatever we're presented with, that one little taste is not going to be the joy that I may get out of that. First off, is a fake temporary joy that's going to go away very quickly, and it's nowhere near the hell that I'll eventually put myself in if I give myself permission to
Yeah.
get that little bit of fake joy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've moved. When I have using thoughts these days, um, and my brain goes to the because I love Manhattans. I love a glass of wine. Yeah, goofball. That's all right. We need to do voiceover stuff.
ASMR brought to you by McShin Foundation.
God, stop. This is what happens at the 51-minute mark, guys. But when I have those using thoughts right now, because often for me it's a glass of wine, or a Manhattan, the so-called sophisticated beverages,
Manhattan.
yes, with rye, not bourbon.
Pinky out.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the bread at first. I was like, that's a weird combination. A Manhattan and rye bread. I'll take a Manhattan and a piece of rye bread.
Slightly toasted.
peasant,
What kind of person are you?
a sophisticate.
Hmm.
But well, so when I
A
have the
flautist.
skin flautist. Oh God, that's the 52-minute mark. There we go, and we're off the air. No, but when I have those thoughts, when I have using thoughts, right? For me, it's often really so easy to look at those thoughts and say, why am I happy? What is this thought? What is it? Why do I want to be doing that thing? Whether it's drinking or whether it's some other substance, why is it? And every single time, it's I want to change how I feel. Whether it's to enhance the happiness I'm in, whether it's to make myself feel more powerful, to give myself a little bit more social lubrication,
Right.
make myself feel sexy. And every single time I think of that, I'm like, you know what? I am so much better off when I have the ability to feel my emotions and deal with them in a more, I won't say controlled way because I'm not that arrogant. But when I have more of an ability to experience my emotions and respond in ways that the people around me who have a lot of thoughts teach me to do. And I'm really grateful to have that because I've had some thoughts. I've had thoughts. I have thoughts all the time, and lately it's been tough. We know what just happened. I'm going to share with the show here in a minute. But one thing that gets me about what recently happened here, and is that it was a holiday and somebody didn't reach out. And so what I mean by that is, one of our regular viewers, and a really really good friend of mine, one of my best friends, just died as a result of this disease last week. And it was, I hate to say that I'm not shocked anymore, but I think as shocked as I can be, that was a shock. It was one of those, he had a lot of the things back. It seemed, and the emotions and the relationship and the time, and he was doing the steps and all the things that we learn about in recovery. And to find out later that he'd been alone, on Thanksgiving Day. And this is a guy that I used to eat meals, and I mean, we would eat 4 meals a day, 5 meals a day sometimes. That's a joke, but we did. I mean,
Is
like,
it though?
not really, no. But we spent so much time, together when we lived in housing together, and eating together and sharing, sharing things, and just kicking around and watching TV, not even being all that, let's talk about our feelings kind of stuff. But when it came right down to it, in that moment, he was alone. Now, I don't know when he started using, um, but I know what happened to his life. I heard that too. But I know what happened, the next couple weeks. I didn't know what was happening with him at the time. I didn't know about that until after he was dead. And I think about that and I'm like, I don't want that to be my experience. I don't want that to be your experience or your experience or your experience. And I know that I can't prevent that. Like I can't change everything. I can't be at every moment, and um, but I want people to notice when I'm not there at Thanksgiving. And I want to notice people who aren't there at Thanksgiving and reach out. I know I talked to him on Thanksgiving. I can probably find the texts. I'm sure I talked to him, but I didn't know he was alone. I certainly didn't know he was struggling. And it's like, man, there's gonna be a day where that's just gonna come back. And well, I'm sorry. There's gonna be a day when we're gonna be confronted with ourselves. And I say that, this person, I won't name him on the show, but this person, man, like he was one of the three people I kept up with the most when I was on my trip last year. And, it's like one of those people I could talk to about anything. And I didn't always, we just talked about stuff. But I just, you know where I'm going with this. It's like the holidays are here, right?
Yeah.
And there's a potential for any of us to go out and do something stupid. I would much rather sit here and joke and laugh and I sit here for hours and I'd be the butt of the joke for all I care, as long as we're just sitting here, kicking back and having coffee and stupid. Man, I think we made like
Yeah.
12 chickens in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there was this day, man. I came home and I had like 6 or 8 boxes, big boxes of in each box. I think there were 10 whole roaster chickens, like 10 in each box, maybe a dozen in each box, and they were frozen solid. But of course, who the hell has freezer space for? What would that do? Somebody do the quick math. 12 times 6. Quick. 72.
Yep.
All right. So thank you. I was really
Yeah.
To reassure you, yeah.
Sure.
yeah. So I mean, like, really, we had that many chickens, and there are probably frozen chickens in some of the house. There maybe even at New York House. I'm
There were
sure.
definitely frozen chickens in Smith House when I first moved in as the manager there.
Yeah. So those are from me,
Okay,
and I'm
cool.
sorry.
They're still there.
They probably are, and we could use them to sabotage people. But like boom. Why is it that I went right to throwing them at people?
Right to throwing chickens.
Because I'm me. But we spent the whole day cooking chickens. We had the oven, we had the air fryer, and we had the grill going, and we must have done 12 chickens that day. We were so sick of freaking chicken. He there was chicken in the freezer. Anyway, yeah. So it's like I got to talk about my stuff. I
Yeah.
gotta be honest, and I really appreciate the two of you being so honest about like the way things you like and feel. I mean, like it takes guts to come on a show about recovery and say I really love heroin,
Yeah.
or I love meth.
Oh,
I love drinking. I like the way cocaine made me feel, but I
Yeah.
love the way I feel when I look at that, when I think about the consequences, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I love having my, my sister and my nieces and nephews
Yes.
around. I love being able to call my mom and not have her worry about me. I love that I was able to be present for my friend's family this past week, which is a weird thing I've never experienced before. And I love that so much more. And I think the challenge for any of us is to find the thing we love more than the thing that we love that destroys us.
Yes.
Um,
That purpose piece.
Purpose.
Purpose.
It's that little sign. All right, I'm sorry. Before we'll
I mean-
listen. We'll listen to that after.
Anyway,
I've talked a lot.
Are we wrapping?
We're wrapping. We're gonna land the plane. Would you like to navigate us a little bit out here and tell us anything that we need to know? He's just gonna say no.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess I'll just say that glad to be here. I feel like this is probably the most realistic approach to recovery I've ever been given. And I'm hoping to make this my last go round. Not going to, swear by anything, but I'm gonna,
Feels like the first time.
I'm going to try to get mine this time. So with that, I guess that's all I got for you this time.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for having me.
Would you like to say anything?
Inspirational thoughts. No, I don't.
Yes.
I love you.
We've talked about a lot. We've talked about a whole lot on this, the holidays, and it's
We haven't had a show in 2 weeks. I've had a lot to share.
right. I guess I'll touch on a little bit of everything. Like, for me, what makes me want to not use more than I want to use is the purpose piece, to be honest with you. And without getting too religion-y, because I don't consider myself religious, I do consider myself spiritual, which is probably a lot to do with the programs that I'm working 12 steps in. But I do go to church, and I found purpose in that, in building, the kingdom of God. And I use my skills that I didn't necessarily knew that I had, but recovery afforded me the ability to find those. Like, I didn't know that I liked cameras. I didn't know that I liked sound stuff. I didn't know that I liked photography in any sense of the word, even though I grew up in a photography studio. Like, I was a childhood model, like, and I
Wait,
hated it.
Wait. This is very new information. You were a childhood model?
C. Ritchie Photography was my mom's. She was the co-owner of the company, and yes, I was a childhood model for the company.
Oh God. Okay.
Anyway,
I've learned so much about you in just that statement.
more will be
Wow.
revealed.
I'm good where we are.
Yeah. But no, I mean, so I found purpose, and it's going to be different for every single person. But the responsibility and the mission that we are given when we come into recovery is to find that purpose, to whether it be to become a counselor, whether it be to be a peer-to-peer recovery specialist, whatever it may be. And maybe it'll be to cook burgers to the best of your ability. Like, whatever you do or whatever I do.
Get ranch to table 42.
Yeah.
And a
Maybe
dirty ramekin.
one day they'll get the ranch. Maybe one day,
They're still sitting there.
I'm going to expect you to eat that chili without a spoon. I'm not cleaning those. Sorry.
Here's a knife. Eat your chili.
Yeah. We're out of bibs.
I think the last time I think not the last time, but there was one time we went to your restaurant. I won't say the name, but I think they handed us plasticware to eat a steak. And I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
thank God for the medium rare. It was a tender cut.
Just literally all we expect you to do is to take your fork and slam it into the steak and just take savage bites out of it. That's the best way.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, beyond that, dude, welcome. Seriously, you're in the best place of America, and I'm a little biased because I do like it here, and I've been coming here for a while. But I do have experience in other places. I've been out to Vegas to be in recovery. I've gone to other places here in Richmond. I have experimented with places in Williamsburg. I've been in and out of recovery since probably, I think I went to my first meeting ever was like in 2013, but it wasn't because I wanted to be there. It was just because I wanted to get laid, and this girl, to be honest with you, and this girl that I was trying to get with, like, had to go to these meetings. So I was like, yeah, I'll go to these meetings with you. And that was the first time I ever said, my name's Patrick and I'm an addict. And I had to reflect on that because I said it, and there had to be some truth behind it, right? But I mean, so no, you're in the best place, dude. As far as my opinion, you're in the best place, dude. It's authentic, it's real. McShin caters that, and I think that's what makes it so special, is that it's real.
So, did you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Serious question before we switch over to Justin over there. You are the Podfather now, right? Do you put a can of peas into somebody's bed when you're pissed off at them, like a horse head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
And nobody's allowed to ask me anything on the day of my daughter's wedding. Okay.
You come to me on the day. I need cotton balls in my mouth.
Disclaimer though, I am not the Podfather. I am a production assistant for the TV show.
Look, man, all I know is I'm not wearing a shirt yet, and I want a hoodie, and that's got to happen. Alex Bond is a dick until he gets me a hoodie.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to Alex about that.
I'm going to as soon as we're done with this.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Justice, would you like to close out? Do you have anything thoughts? Final?
I
said words.
If I could take a moment to quote the literature, we.
Sorry, I don't know why that's so funny.
Nathan,
Okay.
Oh, shut up.
Here we are again.
Why don't you just turn my mic off?
And mute.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that was it.
Go ahead.
You have to keep the
Wow.
literature.
We.
Oh.
That's really profound. All right.
Actually,
It's either really profound or not at all.
Oh, yeah.
No, that really though, for real.
Wow. Third floor thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Anything? Because I'm about to cut it.
Hey, listen, we will see you on Thursday. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but it'll be something. Take care. And if we don't, hey, look, if I don't see you before then, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy whatever the hell, Happy New Year.
All the
and
holidays.
All the
And
holidays.
if I don't see you till tomorrow, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.